We at the top, if I see it, I cop it. All this guap, if I see it, I cop it. Got some new drip, if I see it, I cop it. Saw that new whip, if I see it, I cop it. Need a new grip, if I see it, I cop it. Lots of shrimp, if I see it, I cop it. I'm not kidding, if I see it, I cop it. House off the grid, if I see it, I cop it. We at the top, if I see it, I cop it. All of this guap, if I see it, I cop it. Got some new drip, if I see it, I cop it. Saw that new whip, if I see it, I cop it. Need a new grip, if I see it, I cop it. Lots of shrimp, if I see it, I cop it. I'm not kidding, if I see it, I cop it. House off the grid, if I see it, I cop it.
Yeah, if I see it, I cop it. Running through stores, if I see it, I rock it. Yeah, girl, if you see it, I got it. Run it up more, we need all the profit. 100 racks back up in summer 16. Spent that whole bag on a whole summer dream. Life's complicated, no Avril Lavigne. Copped a new condo to blow us some steam. All these rappers just rapping in triplets. Pushing that product, just got a new shipment. Pushing that roll 50 over the limit. Cushion that blow, I don't get why they with it. We at the top and we throwing the game. All of these peasants will know of my name. All of these blessings, we staying the same. The drip is fluorescent, I'm going insane. Royal genetics all up in my veins. Back me a real one and gave her my name.
Hello,
all
puppets.
these issues, but no one to blame. Praying that God will just
What
show
up,
me the way.
Beaches?
Changing
What's
the
going
game, got
on?
source code and
I
I'm
got
off-road
some
and my
people
horse
tuning
goes
in.
skirt.
Got people jumping
One
in
and
on the
same
old
day, of course,
YouTube
no,
tip.
we in first, yo, all my niggas, we were.
Remember, you can catch it on the
Faking
brand
fake, but
new
we all know
channel,
'cause the source told
Daily
all you
Swole
niggas just
Podcast
swear.
on YouTube.
Talking and saying y'all pseudo and it's true though. y'all
That's
just
pretty
follow them
cool. That's pretty
purse.
cool and shit.
Taking the stage, got a few
Wes,
shows
what up,
who knows
homie?
the clouds in the dirt.
Mary,
I am the king
quite
in the spot,
contrary.
though, y'all are kind, though.
Vince,
They keep
Ken,
calling me
Sharon,
something
what up?
We at the top, if I
Beaches.
see it, I cop it. All
What up,
this guap,
Beaches?
If I see it, I cop it. Got some new drip, if I see it, I cop it. Saw that new whip, if I see it, I cop it. Need a new grip, if I see it, I cop it. Lots of shrimp, if I see it, I cop it. I'm not kidding, if I see it, I cop it. House
What
off
up,
the grid,
hoes?
If I see it, I cop it. We at the top, if I see it, I cop it. All of this guap, if I see it, I cop it. Got some new drip, if I see it, I cop it. Saw
If
that
I
new
have
whip,
coffee,
if I
I'll see it,
I
I'll
cop
drink it.
Need a new grip, if I see it, I cop it. Lots
All
of
the
shrimp,
coffee,
if
I see it, I
cop
drink it.
I'm not kidding, if I see it, I cop it. House off the grid, if I
see it, I
cop
drink it.
Got one life, I'ma get that. If you with that, do not sit back and just wish that you had it. Despite all your witchcraft and your riffraff, this is my gift and you wish that you had it. Tonight, gonna bump trap, gonna thump that. Drums in the back and you know that we have it. Girls like where the
All right, come on. Come in right when you come in. Right when you come in, drop some comments. Right when you come in, drop some biceps, gorillas. Say what up to Papa Swole. I'm here. I see you. I see you. Putting the finishing touches on these sick fucking games. Just flexing. Just getting a quick pre-show pump. Can't do a show without having a pump. Gotta have that show pump. I'm over here flexing, trying to make sure I got that pump. Get the pump going. Get the pump going. You get the sick fucking pump. Oh my god, I can't wait to do this. Let's fucking go. Yow, yow, yow. 3, 2, 1, yow. Time to get yoked.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Bam, 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 bam. Testing. Is this mic working? I don't know. Testing, testicles. Testing, testicles. Ballsack. Testing. Welcome, everyone, to episode 867 of The Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beardcast, broadcast, gangcast, mancast, pimpcast, sleevescast, slaycast, and taintcast. Ooh, in the realm, because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. Everyone loves a good taintcast. It's not a taintcast every time. Every day, it's not a taint. It can't be a taintcast every day. I don't think I could maintain your attention with a daily taintcast. What if it was called a daily taint, and we just talked about taint-related subjects every day? I don't think we would be on 867, but alas, here we are, and we can talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about, because this is the Daily Swole, and we do it all. Welcome, everyone joining me on Instagram, watching live on Instagram and Facebook, and of course, everyone on elsewhere on the web, Twitch, Periscope, what we got going on, YouTube, Daily Swole Podcast on YouTube. Make sure you're following me anywhere, everywhere. The latest and the greatest will always be daily. Okay. And when in doubt, for example, if I'm traveling or if I'm somewhere where I can't do like a nine tuple stream, whatever you would call that, I will always have the podcast available. If you're not subscribed, go subscribe to the podcast. You can find on Apple Podcast /iTunes. Just type in Swolenormous or Daily Swole Podcast, and also Spotify. Anywhere you like to get your podcast, go check it out. You could also go to swolenormousx.com. In the main menu, click on podcast. You'll see all the links for all the apps directly to the podcast show where you can go and subscribe. Daughter is at 50 Cent at the O2. I'm in the gym on the legs. Paul, I don't know what you just said. I don't know what you just said. 50 Cent at the O2. Like 50 Cent, like the rapper Fitty, like Fitty Cent or 50 Cent? Fitty. Taints that are swole. I think if the taint is swole, I think that's a medical condition. You probably should get it checked out. Sometimes it's a gooch cast. Sometimes it is a gooch cast. Sometimes it's a fotch cast. I mean, there's names, for all sorts of names for that little skin down there. Oh, so what's new, Dieter? Hello. I am following you. Nice, Kata Twin. Back to swing the knowledge eggplant. That's right. The knowledge dish is going to go wapow. The knowledge dish, the knowledge eggplant. He's in London. Oh, good for him. Good for him. Bloody great. Well, welcome to the show, everyone. I know you're coming in and you're excited because I just dropped the word taint like 30 fucking times in the first 2 minutes of the podcast. So if you can find a podcast out there that says taint that many times, that has this much of a concentration and focus of the podcast on the concept of taint, show me. I dare you to find something that is more taint-centric than the Daily Swole. Today, we're going to talk about changing your program. I want to talk about plateaus. I want to get some feedback from you. If any of you are hitting plateaus, I want to define a little bit what a plateau is, what some of the false signs of a plateau are or could be, and when it might be time to, I don't want to say call it quits, but call a change, because you're not going to quit training. It's just a matter of finding a different road. So if you have, for example, 100 roads you can travel in terms of fitness with the type of training, with your training split. Yesterday, we talked about all the different ways you can add variety, or the last couple episodes, you can change up your program in so many ways, different sets, different rest periods, different exercise selection, partial reps, full reps, like I believe that was yesterday's episode. So there's so many ways you can change up your program. So which way is the best way for you? Well, you got to change things up now and again. You got to create a stress reaction from the body to stimulate growth, to stimulate progress. Otherwise, your body's going to adapt and stay status quo. And I've made it quite clear here on the show that your body does not want to adapt. Your body does not want to change. Your body does not want to do anything out of the ordinary. It wants to handle what it needs to handle and go on with its day. Your body doesn't want to do extra work. Your body doesn't want to be challenged per se. Your body doesn't want to be damaged. Your body doesn't want the muscle fibers to be destroyed. Why would your body want to be in pain? Your body doesn't want to have to repair muscle tissue all the time. It doesn't want to, but it will. And that's just a matter of you putting it in the environment where it is forced to, where it has to, where it's in demand and your body has no other choice. Thus, that's what adaptation is. So when it comes to changing up your program, it doesn't have to be drastic. You can make subtle changes, but when is it time to just overhaul things? And because there are so many different paths you can choose, there's so many different splits, there's so many different strategies, let's just say instead of hundreds of thousands of different combinations, let's say there's 100, just for a nice round number. Let's say there's 100 different things you can do for your programming, right? Let's say there's 100 different ways you can train. For you, let's say you want to get certain results. You want to build muscle, you want to trim fat, the usual stuff. You want to have a physique, men, women, this is for everyone. There's 100 different ways you can get what you want. You don't know which one works the best for you. You don't know which one's going to be the most important one for you to focus on, but there's 100 different ones. There's a lot of assumption that just because you bought a gym membership and just because you're taking an interest in your nutrition and you're kind of, okay, I'm getting started, there's a lot of assumption that just because you're starting something that you're going to get results from that one thing. I think we can all agree that just because you're doing something doesn't mean it's anywhere close to the right thing. It doesn't mean you're going to get a lot of results. It doesn't mean you're going to get any results. It also doesn't mean you're not going to get results, because when you're a beginner, when you're a noob, you will see a lot of initial change with almost anything that you do, because you're getting off the couch and you're doing something. So it's a new shock to your body. But it might not give you exactly what you want. It might not lead to that promised land, so to speak. And it's just one path. You have 100 different things, let's say, right, for this argument or this conversation. If there are 100 different ways to get what you want, there's 100 different ways to result in potentially what your goal is. You tried one. Let's say one of those 100. So it doesn't work. Does that mean nothing's going to work? No, you tried one. There's 99 left. There's a difference between people that get results and people that don't get results. The people that get results, drum roll, brrr, they don't quit. They don't quit. They find another path. Not everyone's going to take the same path. Not everyone is going to eat the same way I do. Not everyone's going to train the same way I do. I have a lot of information. I have a lot of education. I have a lot of things that I put out there that can help you figure out the best thing for you. I create a lot of variety. Those of you that are in Swolenormous X, the program vault, I'll be going live in the private Facebook group to explain it in more detail, but it's very self-explanatory. The program vault, in addition to the 90-day dash and everything else that's in Swolenormous X, just launched. So there's going to be tons and tons of programs that are being uploaded currently. There are already a few in there that I put in there with the soft launch, that are what I do and what I recommend and the best way to use these different workouts and these different training protocols. There are many different combinations. And a lot of it just comes down to trying something for a few weeks, or, 3, 6 weeks, for example, 9 weeks, depends. And you have to really be in tune and in touch with your body. The more you listen to your body, the more you're aware of those subtle changes, the more you are aware of the objective differences in your body. Are you actually not progressing, or do you just feel that way? Do you just feel that way? I think a lot of times you just feel like you're not making progress when you really are making progress. And sometimes all you need is a fucking sweet potato and you get a little bit of like some good resistant starch and you're like, holy shit, I feel great. Sometimes it's just like you're dehydrated, or you need to get a better night's sleep, or you're stressed. You're not seeing progress. You're not in a plateau. It's a mental funk. That's why the mental game is so important. That's why understanding how your mind works and these thoughts that come into your head can really help you discern a real plateau from just, I feel a little bit funky and a little bit off today. It happens. I've talked about that. There's some days when I just kind of feel like, meh. You can't explain it. You just feel a little meh. All right, it happens. Matt Lytle, I recently changed my program back to the basics: deadlifts, squats, pull-ups, planks, incline bench. For me, the lack of choice and keeping it simple has helped a lot. Keeps me wanting to go back and hit it hard. Yeah, well, if you have less things and less general random shit, it's less of a distraction. You focus on the most important things. Deadlifts are awesome. Squats are awesome. Pull-ups are awesome. Planks are awesome. Incline bench is awesome. There's a lot of shit out there that isn't quite as awesome. Those things will get you results. Everyone that trains, everyone that wants to get in shape, everyone that trains for muscle, everyone that trains for strength, they're doing those exercises. There are some staples that just need to be done. There's some staples that will work. It's a lot of the accessory stuff and the little tiny tweaks and the mental approach and your training split and little subtle things that are going to vary from person to person to get the most out of it. Quit is a word I just erased from my dictionary. There are no shortcuts. If it's not working for you, find the way to make it work. Mary. Absolutely. There are so many ways. All right. That's why I mentioned the 100 different paths. There are many different roads to success. There really are. Remember the famous Robert Frost poem, The Road Less Traveled? There's a lot of, this mental, imagery of two roads. I go this way, or I go the road less traveled. In all honesty, there are many, 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 many roads untraveled. There are thousands of roads. There are many more roads untraveled than there are traveled. There are a few that are, very, very traveled, and most of them are just less traveled, and some are not traveled at all. You have to create your own. And that's sometimes the challenge, is because you're going down a path that isn't created. You're making your own. I think that's important, though, because you're customizing it yourself. It's important to really understand what you need for you. You're an individual, and that makes your needs individual. It makes you a unique person. your lifestyle, your habits, your goals, your desires, what makes you stick to a program, what gets you excited, what gets you, what fills you with purpose is going to be different from you to another person. All right? You can't use the same exact strategies, at a higher level like I do, because I've created what works for me. The foundational approach is very important and everyone can use that, but it's important to forge your own path. What's up, Emily? Holly, would it be wise to switch it up once in a while and do high reps for legs instead of super heavy for mass? Absolutely. I do high reps all the time. I did it yesterday. I love high reps for legs. You could get crazy volume, crazy sick pumps. It's amazing for legs. High reps for legs are awesome. Now, if you're doing high reps, low intensity, and you're not really doing a lot of volume, it's more of like an active recovery, more of a deloading week. But you could do heavy weight relative to what you can do and push it to failure doing 15, 20, 25 reps or drop sets or supersets. Fuck yeah. High reps for legs are nasty. Ken Becker, speaking of the mental impact on results, have you heard the theories about men in prison getting super fit as a result of the fight or die environment? Impacting hormones and mentality seems feasible. Sucks for us comfortable office dwellers, though. Well, yeah, I mean, guys in prison, whether or not they can get anabolic steroids, they make tattoos and all this kind of stuff. They get creative and contraband and stuff, but obviously they're not getting seen by a doctor and getting TRT, for example. But yeah, when your body is in an environment where it has to survive, it just makes sense. Testosterone levels are going to be through the roof and your body is going to be in defense mode. You're always defending yourself. You're always protecting yourself from getting stabbed or just beaten up, or, you're always in defensive mode. So I don't know the actual studies or what is out there, but yeah, you see a lot of big dudes, plus they're in there. I also want to make it a point, in addition to that that generalization of it, like, oh yeah, fight or die, you have to survive. You're also on a very regular schedule. You're getting regular food at a set time. You're sleeping at a set time. You're waking at a set time. You don't have a lot to do when you're in prison. Just lift and do pull-ups and push-ups and resistance training in your cell. Like, you don't have options really. Depending on where you are and where you don't really have a lot of options. So yeah, you're defending yourself, and then what are you going to do? Just fucking lift and do shit all the time. And then you're going to grow. And to clarify, I'm not complaining about not being in prison. Well, look, it's a very regimented schedule. So on top of the fact that you're defending yourself, your life all the time when you're in prison, you're also focused. It's very regimented. It's very regimented. Why do you think the Army is so successful in the Marines? It's so regimented and disciplined. It's the same time. It's this. You do things this way, in this manner. Not to say there aren't injuries, of course, but things work very efficiently when it's a system and it's this way and that's the only way it is. And there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is the order. This is the execution. It did get done. It didn't get done. And that's it. So that's why I keep talking about the basics. Think about all of us that are not in prison. If anyone's watching from prison, what up? But if you're not in prison, which you probably are not, if you're watching or listening to this, you need to discipline yourself and regiment yourself. How many of you, pretty much everyone, of course, that are not in prison have a regimented schedule where lifting and eating and sleeping is boom, like fucking clockwork like that? Probably none of you, myself included. I'm not that like lights out at this time, this at this time. There's leeway there. But the more regimented and disciplined and the more of a top priority you make it, you're going to get more results. JSox85 on Instagram. I work rotating swing shift and never seen results like when I was on day shift for 3 months straight. Working night shift is brutal on the body, man. Working night shift is brutal. It fucks up the hormones, the circadian rhythm. It affects muscle repair. It can be real tough. It can be real tough. What's wrong with your program? What is wrong with your program? Do you have a question? The Marla on Twitch. Do you have a question? What is wrong with your program? What program are you on? Are you just gaming all the time? Excuse me. Just blew out everyone's ears. Colorado Freeze on IG. I'm on episode 700 trying to catch up. I hope to work with you for one day. I'm so focused. Fuck yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Playing catch up on the daily sleaze. Catch up on some throwbacks. Let's see what we got. So, I mean, getting off the prison topic, that's very interesting, of course. But it's very important to know when to call it a day on your program. So if you're very consistent and you've been doing something and you really don't see results, and it's not a feeling, it's actually objective, right? Your pants are not fitting any differently. You're not looking different in pictures or in the mirror or on the scale. You're doing all your measurements like you should. And all methods of your assessment, you're not making progress, strength or anything. It's time to mix it up. And remember, you can always go back. There's no right or wrong. You can always go back to your program. But yesterday, in the last couple of days, when it comes to changing your program, it doesn't have to be this drastic shift. Sometimes it's not, oh my God, I got to do all new exercise and a whole new training split. No, sometimes it's just adding an additional day in your training. Sometimes it might be doubling up and doing yoga and strength training on the same day. For one day, compressing, getting more volume in during your week, increasing the resistance, maybe increasing your calories or decreasing your carbs or some little aspect of what you're doing regularly. That is why being consistent is so important, because the more consistent you are, the more of a control you have in order to compare it. So when you do change things, you have something to compare it to. If you're just doing random shit all the time, how are you going to change your program? You're not on one to begin with. A program is something regimented. It's something consistent. It's something tangible. It's something, I don't say tangible, but something objective. Like you can say, I'm doing this in this way, and I've been doing it for X amount of time. So if you don't have anything to compare it to and you're just doing random stuff, oh, I've hit a plateau. What should I change? What should I do? Well, if you don't know what you're doing now, how can you change it? And that's why I tell a lot of people when they ask me, well, how many calories should I be eating X, Y, and Z? I say, well, how many? Or I ask, how many calories are you eating now? Well, I'm not sure, but well, how the fuck can I help you? You don't even know what you're eating now. How are you going to increase or decrease? You don't even know what you're doing. Sometimes you really, I shouldn't say sometimes, you need to know exactly what's going on in order to be able to change it, especially if you're going to compare it, especially if you're going to move forward and see in the future, oh, this works better, A works better than B because this is different than this, and this is different than this, and I changed this from this, and this to this, and I added this, and if you don't know what you're doing random shit, how are you going to know strategic or strategy-wise how to change it? Will say 54 on IG, I'm tired as fuck. Is it bad to go to the gym when you have had no sleep? Is it bad? Well, what do you mean by bad? It's not good for your body to be without sleep. I mean, are you going to get hurt? When you don't have sleep, you're not making good choices. Your body is not going to be functioning at a high level. You could get hurt. You could be just breaking yourself down. You could be wearing down your immune system. I mean, I've done workouts on minimal sleep. It's not necessarily a good thing. I mean, if you're not getting sleep, it's fundamentally unhealthy. But it depends on a lot of different, how much it's going to affect you. You're tired as fuck. If you're tired, go to sleep, get rest, wake up, and then crush it. It depends. I've done workouts on minimal sleep. It's just not the best thing for your body. Sleep is fundamental. Sleep, hydration, food, those are the basics for your body. If those aren't in order, a lot of people wonder, how the fuck, why am I not losing weight? Why am I not building muscle? Well, you're not sleeping and hydrating and eating properly. The weights are just next level. You're not even repairing to be a human, let alone repairing damage that you're doing, like extra damage in your training. What else we got? Trey Presley on Facebook, funny. Let's see. I think that disappeared. Oops. Let's see. I'll use my phone because that disappeared on my computer. Funny you say prison because I have the same results in the Navy on 6 to 9 month deployments. Eat, sleep, lift, and then it cuts out there. Yeah, well, when you're very consistent, you're going to get crazy gains. Now imagine giving yourself that kind of routine, like that Navy consistency, that military consistency, that prison consistency. Imagine doing that when you're not in prison, when you're not in the Navy, when you have leeway to do a lot of different things. You can really see limitless progress. It depends on how hard you're going to push yourself and how consistent and disciplined you're going to be. Now, that doesn't mean that more is better. More training days in a week does not necessarily mean you're going to make more progress. And a lot of people think that 2 doing 2 workouts a day is better because 2 is bigger than 1. Not necessarily. quite the opposite. You're not growing when you're in the gym. You're not growing when you're training. You're damaging your body. The recovery has to be better. The recovery has to be the focus. If you're training more, you got to spend equally more in terms of your attention on recovery. That way you are not breaking down the muscle continuously, and then you're not repairing. You know, it's really important to repair, to recover. That's everything. It's absolutely everything. Holly, I've been wondering if I've been eating enough. Maybe I could benefit from an increase in order to help with recovery and gains without getting fat. Yeah, just minimize how many extra carbs you're consuming. But yeah, you may not be eating enough. How much are you eating? Do you even know? How do you know if you're eating enough if you don't know what you're eating now? You have to, you have to find out. You have to know where you are to know how to change it. Lamberto, eliminate blue light like TV, phones. You sleep a lot better. Even when you're not getting enough sleep, you sleep better quality. Yep, especially at night. That helps if you have trouble getting to sleep or, tuning off at night. Joshua, yesterday I took a rest day. I worked 9 hours at work after going to a concert. Had to be at work at 4 a.m. and went to sleep around midnight. I didn't want to chance it. Well, you gotta do what's right for your body. Sometimes you'll have crazy rush of, adrenaline and energy, and you're on no sleep, and you just go and you crush it. You're gonna crash eventually. You go into sleep debt, and you try to make up for lost time. It's not good for your body. I think we can all agree it's not good for your body. Everyone can push things on different capacities, but you're not functioning. If you're not getting enough sleep, I don't care who you are, even myself, I function a lot better than the majority of people on minimal sleep, but still, I'm not functioning at my highest capacity. No one is. You're not recovering. Your brain isn't in good condition if you're not getting enough sleep. Finally bought a new mattress. Sleep quality was something draining me since the purchase. The gain train is going full blast. Nice. Also having a cold enough room, not eating really late, close to bedtime, digesting, alcohol, all these things can affect your quality of sleep. Sometimes it might affect you whether or not you're getting to sleep. And also there's more than just, okay, did I get to sleep? There's, do I have quality sleep? Am I sleeping continuously through the night? Am I waking up frequently? Am I, getting actually good restorative sleep, or am I, restless, twisting, turning, this, that, and the other? And a colder room is much more beneficial than if you are, for example, in a hot environment. What's up, McFam? What's up? The results are crazy when you don't overtrain and get rest. Absolutely. 5'10", 150 pounds. I lift heavy 4 days a week. I've been taking in 2,300 calories, but I'm wondering if that's enough. Around 250 carbs, 50 or more of fat, and 150 protein. What, grams? If you're 5'10", 150, you're consuming too much protein. You could probably do with more fat. I would say increase the fat. Just from what you're doing. I mean, for a female especially, 150 pounds, you don't need a gram per pound of body weight. Just from what I see there. But yeah, I mean, you're not going to know unless you try it. And if you do it incrementally, like if you go from 2,300 to 4,000 calories, all right, you could put on some body fat potentially. So if you are doing it incrementally, you'll see how you feel. And even just with your body, if you're boosting it a couple hundred calories, you'll notice a difference. It's extra energy, but it has to be something your body's actually absorbing. So yeah, anytime you add carbohydrates, you're going to retain some water. You're going to hold water with the carbs. That's why people lose a lot of water when they go keto or some of these diets where you cut carbs a lot when you get into it, because water gets flushed out with the carbohydrates. Everyone says, oh my God, I lost so much weight. Yeah, you're dehydrated. Or you're not just dehydrated, but you're losing water. Anytime you start a diet, you're usually losing water first. And people equate this to seeing progress, and then all of a sudden that tapers off, and then they get bummed out weeks 3, 4, 5. Well, I'm not losing as much as I was. I'm only losing 1 or 2 pounds a week. I'm like, yo, that's fucking fast. 1 to 2 pounds a week is pretty much as fast as you want to lose on a healthy level. So just because you're not losing 10 pounds a week because you're not flushing out tons of water doesn't mean you're not making amazing progress. It gives people a false concept of their progress. They think they're going to keep on seeing great progress like that. Yeah, right. Yeah, fucking right. Sure. I'm just going to lose 10 pounds a week indefinitely. That'd be easy. It would take people 3 months to lose 100 pounds and shit. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Yeah. You're welcome. Hey, Pops, I'm here late. What up? From Tennessee. Holla. Holla, holla. So what's your program? What are you doing? What's your training split? How about that? Anyone else in a plateau? Is anyone watching right now that's having any kind of struggle? Any kind of struggle with their programming? I really want to get a little bit more Q&A involved, a little more application. So where are you at right now, and what are you looking to tweak, or what do you think you need to tweak? Kirsty, I tried to reintroduce cheese sauce last night after 6 months free from being a pasta and macaroni cheese fan. Nope, body hates it. Ooh, that must have been an interesting evening. Body composition over what the scale says. 224 pounds and more cut than when I was 214. Yeah, well, the scales aren't accurate in terms of how you look. And that's why I tell people to stay away from the scale, because the scale doesn't tell you the difference. It's not going to tell you what is on the scale. It's going to tell you, hey, you weigh this much. The earth is pulling you this much into the ground. The earth is pulling this much on you. It's not going to tell you that you are a size 33 instead of a size 35 now. It's not going to tell you that you lost 3 pounds of body fat per se. It might show the same body weight, but you could be recomping a little bit. You could be in the middle of, a slow fat loss and maybe some muscle growth and something. It's not going to tell you the details. That's why composition is much more important in terms of when you do it accurately, right? The DEXA scan, like we talked about, underwater weighing, when you're doing real body composition, it's far more accurate of your progress, an accurate measurement rather than just absolute weight loss, because you're going to stall in many cases with weight loss, especially if you're overweight and you're losing a lot because you just started a training program, because you're putting on a lot of mass. I shouldn't say you're putting on a lot of mass, but you're lifting weight. So if you're trying to lose a lot of weight and you just started lifting, you never really lifted before, all of a sudden you're lifting weights now. Shit, you gotta, you have a lot of stuff going on. Your body is losing extra body fat, but you're also stimulating the growth of muscle fibers. So that weight loss, that absolute weight loss, is going to slow down dramatically, because eventually those lines are going to cross over and you're going to be more in a muscle building state. Your body's going to slow fat loss and you're going to kind of peter out and plateau, and that can get frustrating and depressing for a lot of people. Ellie Simmons, getting back on track after pneumonia, fucking 14 days now. Ooh. But took your advice and got the Headspace app, meditating, yoga, water, rest, extra electrolytes. What do I start with after I'm back to norm? Yoga. Yeah, start light. Light shit. Very, very light. You start in nice and easy. Get in slow. Ken, plateaued for a while, not dropping fat, not gaining strength. I used to get better results incorporating jogging, running, but maybe that was just being younger, not the cardio. Well, you're not going to gain strength by jogging and running. And dropping fat depends on, jogging and running really isn't the best for fat loss. That can also be water loss. That could also be flushing out more water. It depends. There's a lot of different factors. It's not necessarily just the jogging or the running, but there's other things that work there, man. It's hard to say from just what you said there, but yeah, I mean, time is a factor, age is a factor for sure. Other types of training and caloric intake, always a factor. Sharon, I'm getting over mine right now. You hit mine right on the head. I'm 8 months into starting a healthier lifestyle and had gotten a mental block. Everyone talks about how hard weight loss is, and it was, but bulking and putting on muscle is much harder. Every episode you answer questions I didn't even know I had. Thank you. You're welcome, Sharon. Fat loss is nowhere near as challenging as building muscle. It's not, because you're just forcing yourself to eat. You have to force yourself to eat. You're extra. You're eating more. You're overloading your body more. When you're full, you're still fucking eating. Weight loss, you cut out inflammatory foods. You maybe drop your calories a little bit, and you still lift weights and do your thing, and you'll fucking lose weight. It's not complicated. It's so, I don't want to say it's easy, but fuck it, it's easy. Easier. Nothing's easy. It's still going to be hard work, but relative, it's easier than gaining muscle. Definitely easier than gaining muscle. Definitely. Been seeing doctors all week. One is going to try to fix me up and get me back to being able to work out like I used to. What's going on? What do you need fixing with? So, in order to change your program, I would say you need to really look at what you're already doing before you jump into something completely different. If you really feel like, and if you really are stagnant in your progress of what you currently are doing, if you're truly stagnant, if you're truly not seeing progress, if you are truly at one of those, truly at a plateau, truly at a crossroads, you need to know what you're doing so you know what to change. You need to know what you're currently doing. I don't think enough of you are analytical enough about what you're currently doing. So when you think about changing something, you have no idea really where to fucking start. You're just, hey, let me do this instead. It's like a diet. Vegan isn't working, so let me do paleo. Well, paleo worked a little bit, but then it stopped, so I'm going to do keto. And it's just, you're just going from one drastic thing to another without getting to the fundamental problem. That's why I'm always talking about inflammatory foods and elimination. You do that first, and then you'll find a better way of eating, and you'll find a specific way of eating like keto, vegan, paleo, whatever it is, that fits you best based on the foods that your body reacts best to. So just jumping from one diet to the next is going to be a lot of shock to your body. There's going to be a lot of resistance to the change from your body, a lot of revolt, and it could be a bumpy road. So subtle changes make a huge difference. Subtle changes make a huge difference, especially in programming. It doesn't take much to make a massive difference. Try going from 2 minutes rest between sets to 1 minute. Huge difference. 1 minute to 30 seconds, huge difference. Also different outcome, long-term, more endurance, right? Adding another exercise with 4 or 5 sets, huge difference in volume, huge difference in overload. It doesn't take a lot to shock your body. I was doing a chest and back type split for a while, for several weeks, a couple months, I forget exactly how long. But then this past week, I went to I went to the classic chest and triceps, back and biceps, which I don't normally like. Oh, fucking crushed me. So I'm going to stick with it for a little bit. I mean, great. I kind of found a different approach to it. Really fit my mindset this week, and it was great. And I'm super sore, and I feel really good from it. So sometimes you just need to leave something enough to come back to it, and then it's new again. So whatever you're changing to doesn't mean, like in terms of your physical training, doesn't mean you can't come back to what you're doing now. Because when you do come back, when you do something else for a little bit and you see progress there, when you come back, it's a new shock again. It's a new stress for your body. I mean, quote unquote new. You remember doing it, but it's new in the sense that your body has kind of refocused and shifted its attention to a different type of adaptation. It's gotten used to doing this type of routine with this type of sequencing and rest periods and volume and X, Y, and Z. And all of a sudden you go back and it refreshes again. So going from for my example, and this is the type of stuff that I'm uploading into Swolenormous X for the Swolenormous X members in the program vault. You have, let's say, chest and back splits, and all of a sudden you're going to have a chest and tricep split, and then boom, you have chest and bicep split, and then you're going to have chest by itself. You're going to have different macro and micro splits and different kind of alternating, undulating programming weeks and deloading weeks and macro cycles, and there'll be a lot of stuff that's uploaded that really help you kind of endlessly, manipulate and tweak your program while still sticking to the same goal. If you want to build muscle, you're going to have to stay within a certain scheme of volume, a certain overall direction. But it doesn't mean it has to be this thin tightrope. It doesn't have to be this thin line, because you could build muscle with high repetitions. You could build muscle with very heavy weight and very low repetitions and everywhere in between. Of course, where you focus most of your attention is going to give you the result. But as long as you're staying on this path and you're jumping through different phases properly, you're going to see endless results and progress moving forward, and keep stimulating the body without overloading it and at the same time minimizing your risk of injury. And it's very, very important. It's very important to approach your training with that direction in mind, what you're trying to accomplish long term, but then still provide the variety and the manipulation in those substructures that will give you enough shock and enough, wow, this is different. The body needs to respond and react. Amanda, I have been eating steak and sushi along with working back and arms this week. It's been feeling amazing. Nice, good. I like me some sushi. I love me some steak, you know what I'm saying? Eric Paprosky, I love the name. Progress can be as simple as doing the same routines with heavier weight. For sure. I mean, it's different, right? It's different if you're normally doing 12 reps of your exercises. Well, now do 8. Holy shit, you're doing a lot more weight. You're doing a lot more of a strength type execution in your programming. It's a huge difference without changing the number of sets, without changing the exercises. Maybe you increase your rest periods between sets 30 seconds or so. I mean, it's not a drastic change. That's why I'm always talking about too much variety is not good. You have a lot of people doing this programming where they just randomly, they'll just go and they'll do cross training the next week, or they go do a lot of running or a lot of swimming and just do fucking random stuff. Well, that's completely off the reservation in terms of what you're trying to do. You don't need that much of a drastic change to your programming. You don't need to do completely fancy new exercises. You don't need to go to kettlebells for 6 months. You don't need to do these drastic shifts. You need to just make subtle changes and keep on working hard and keep on moving forward. Lifting weights works. Doing yoga works. Mobility, meditation, that works. You just need to keep on pushing yourself and getting better and practicing. Like I mentioned before in the previous episode, if you want to play at Carnegie Hall, you need to practice the instrument a lot. Okay? You don't play piano for a year and be like, well, I've plateaued with the piano. Let me do, the extreme piano. And you all of a sudden, whoa, this whole brand new instrument. Well, you're not going to get good at the piano if you're playing extreme piano. That was a terrible, terrible, terrible analogy, extreme piano. Let's just use saxophone. Fuck the piano. If you're doing piano, right? It's like you're playing the saxophone. Playing the saxophone is not going to get you better at the piano. Now I got to create the extreme piano. Like piano where it like electrocutes you like once in a while. You have to be nimble, or you're on like a Bosu ball while you're playing the piano. So if you want to get better at the piano, you have to play the piano. Well, if you want to get better at strength training and building muscle and physique and mobility, you have to do those things, right? So that doesn't mean you go and randomly play the saxophone. That's not going to fucking help you play the piano. You got to focus on the piano, but you have to focus on skills that's going to help you become better at the piano. That's going to further that. You have to mix up how you practice the piano, right? How long you practice, the rest periods between your practice sessions, right? The skills that you practice or the moves that you practice with the piano. Just for example, right? You're not going to get better at the piano by riding a bicycle, Still a good analogy. Extreme piano, right? So, I mean, the piano is a piano, and there's different ways to practice to get better at the piano. Weightlifting is weightlifting. Building muscle is building muscle. Losing fat is losing fat. You're a human being. You're a human being in a body that hasn't changed in 100,000 years. So what different, shocking, random shit do you need that just got created by some marketing company in the past 5 years that's going to all of a sudden now help you burn so much fat because you're taking a fucking pill now? Oh, I get these fat burners. Now I'm going to lose weight. No. If you bought fat burners, chances are you'll lose weight, because if you're taking the fat burner, you're more likely to go work out and eat better. That's going to help you lose weight, not taking a pill. It's a placebo. It's bullshit. It's bullshit with caffeine that in association with other things will help you lose weight. Fuck it. If you want to take a placebo and waste your money, as long as you're eating better and you're exercising, You can shake off some cancer from taking supplements. Some fat-burning cancer from whatever the fuck they put in there or whatever is or isn't in there. All the quality control in those supplements. I broke a guitar string, so I'm playing violin now. Nice. Yeah, point being, you don't have to go in a completely different direction. Point being, you shouldn't go in a completely different direction. A little bit better there. You should not go in a completely different direction when it comes to your training. You need to stay on that, like, how about this? Your path that you're forging for yourself is like a 5-lane highway. It's like a 5-lane highway. And you might shift into the middle left lane. You might shift over a lane. You're not getting off the highway. You're just shifting gears. You're slowing down. You're changing in traffic. When you're on the highway, sometimes you have to slow down. Sometimes you have to speed up and pass. Sometimes there's no one on the road and you're just cruising, right? And you just kind of zone out and you're on the highway and you forget where you are. And all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, I've been driving for 100 miles. It's because a lot of training is the same fucking shit. It's like being on the highway. Sometimes there's traffic. Sometimes you're changing lanes. Sometimes you have to zig and zag and do different things. You're still going the same direction on the highway. Just you're not going fast all the time. That's a good analogy for progress. Sometimes you're in fucking stuck dead traffic. You're still going the same direction, just stupid slow. Is there truth to sticking to a program for at least a month to train proper form for lifts? Of course. You should stick to any program. Any program needs at least a month to really know if it's working well. If you're putting 100% effort into it, it takes a few weeks for your body to start adapting to it. You're not going to know in a week. There's the same BS marketing for, quote, fast progress in music as there is in fitness. It always comes back to dedicating yourself to it long term. I'm sure of it. Diet itself is very simple. Burn more calories than you take in and poof, weight loss happens. In most cases, you'd like to say that, but I mean, if there's inflammation, there's other factors that can limit weight loss. That's why some people do extreme caloric deficits and they don't lose weight that much because your body goes into starvation mode and your body has inflammation, chronic inflammation, and it holds on to calories more and it slows down metabolic processes and stuff. But I mean, if you starve yourself, yeah, I mean, your body needs fuel. Eric, I just told my wife since we're eating more at the moment, we need to change up the workout program, add some heavy compound lifts, nothing major, but add weight. Cool. Aw, thank you, dear. If I hadn't had #Swole guidance, I'd have had a much slower recovery after spinal surgery. Well, I'm glad to hear that, Kirsty. Steamy Nerd. Got some good fucking names on IG. The advice you gave me set me on the right path, setting me in the correct mentality. Depression is looking so much better and my focus has greatly improved, seeing excellent mental and physical results. Nerd, badass. That's awesome. When you really find the power of the interaction between nutrition and mindset, the quality of your mind and the clarity, and when you tie that into everything, it makes a huge difference when you really appreciate the body for being interconnected and you treat it as such. It makes a huge difference. Dropping that nip pinching knowledge. Hell yeah, Jason. The nips are like diamonds. Rock hard knowledge. Knowledge nips. Yeah, you could stick to a program for 2 months, Eric. You know, it depends. It depends. If you want to change anything, change the order a little of your lifts. That's what I'm saying. A change to a program could be a subtle change to a split. It's still a different change to the program. It depends on how you're defining the program. Is it what you're doing on what day? But, you know, those acute variables, right? Acute variables are things you change in the moment or in a specific workout. So, for example, an acute variable is rest periods, the order of exercises, what exercise you're selecting, how many times in a week you're doing a body part or resistance training. Let's see, the tempo for the repetitions, you know, all those things, how many sets, how many reps, the volume, those are all acute variables because when you go to the gym today, you can decide how long you want to rest, what your resistance is going to be, how much weight, what exercise you're going to do, what order of exercises, or you can use a barbell or use a dumbbell. I mean, you know, sometimes all you need is instead of going to the gym and doing a barbell bench, like for incline, you do dumbbell bench. And instead of doing dumbbell bench with 2 arms, you do 1 arm. You know, you mix it up subtly. It doesn't mean you're not benching. You're just changing subtly what style and what exercise, your selection. That's not changing your whole program. You're not changing all your reps. You're not changing like, because I'm doing this, I'm not building muscle anymore. I'm doing all endurance now. No, you're just making subtle changes in the moment or in that workout that is going to give you enough stimulus to keep continuing growing. You don't want to go from doing, let's say, 10 total sets for a workout the next week. Well, I want to mix it up a little bit. I'm going to do 20 sets. I'm going to do twice as much volume. You're probably going to be crippled sore. You can hurt yourself, and it's going to affect all the other lifts. You might get really tight and traumatically sore, and it could set you back. So, I mean, these drastic changes don't necessarily have to happen. And a lot of people tend to make drastic changes because you want to be entertained. You want to see something completely different. If it's the same, how could it be good? I've been doing the same workout. I know people that change their workout every week. Like, too much. Too much. And it doesn't mean you can't build muscle or lose fat like that, but it's too much like you're shooting at different targets. You have to be consistent. It's going to get boring. I guess you could say that. It's going to get boring. Expect it to be boring. Don't even keep that word in your vocabulary. That's why when people ask me what your favorite exercise for legs is or for this, I don't think of anything as a favorite. I do what works. And if it works, then I guess you can consider it my favorite, but what works to this week might not work as well next week, or the next workout that I do, it might be a different choice. I don't think about what my favorite is. It doesn't matter what I like. How about that? I don't think about things in the gym as like or dislike. I do it if it works. I don't do it if it doesn't work or it bothers me. I do what works. If you start getting emotional about it and you start thinking, this is what I like to do, this is my favorite, I always start my workout with this exercise, then you're going to get into a rut and you're not going to see, and it makes you vulnerable for progress, for hitting that plateau. And I just avoid that by mixing it up on purpose, unbiased, without emotion. I do things that need to be done in the gym. When I haven't done a certain exercise in a while, I do it. I don't care if I like it or not. I just do the things that need to get done. But you gotta confuse the muscles, brah. Give them dementia. Yeah, all that confusion that your muscles have, right? Yeah, you don't need as much. You don't need. I think minimal confusion is better. You'll adapt. Do the same fucking things. If all you could do in your life was do deadlifts, bench, row, and do, let's see, deadlifts, bench, row, squat, like the basics, you get fucking huge. Like if you were all restricted to only doing those exercises, you could play with your diet however you want, but you could only do those exercises, everyone would get such better results. I guarantee it. If you were limited to specific exercises like that, all you could do is a bench, all you could do is a row and a pull-up, all you could do is a squat and maybe an RDL and a deadlift. That's it. Huge. That's it. You don't need anything else. That's it. You'd be massive. You get so much results. Men, women, you'd be lean, you'd be fucking thick. You'd have shape. You'd be fine. It's amazing how much fancy shit girls are, putting the ankle straps around their legs and doing cable kickbacks. What the fuck? Okay. Have fun with that garbage. Fucking stupid shit. Do some squats. Do some deadlifts. Do some hip bridges. Do it right. This fucking fancy cable crap. But I want to keep my waist tiny. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Let me tighten up my belt more to keep my waist small. If that's what you think it does, okay. Sure, that's what it does. Okie dokie. All right. Good idea. Anyway, fam. So that's on that note, on that Gymshark girl note, we'll wrap up this podcast. So I'm gonna get my pump on. I hope you get the pump on. It's the same. And those of you that are in Swole Enormous X, I want to go into the private Facebook group, but make sure you check out the brand new launch of the program Vault, soft launch, because I just relaunched it with the new programs and, new program, like just the tip of the iceberg. So now the framework is there, so you can go check that out. And everyone stay tuned that are not members, because this last month here, this is the end of September, there's 3 months to the end of the year. And I am making a huge push to get as many people fucking yoked and on the right path before that bullshit New Year's resolution tribe starts, running their mouths. So this is the time of year to strap in. So stay tuned either later today or tomorrow. Going to be throwing a Swole Enormous X party, fiesta. You'll see what I mean. Gonna be making a big push for the end of this year. It's gonna be massive. I'm going all in, and it's gonna be sick. So I'm really stoked for all the new members coming in that will be coming in, and for everyone that's already in there. It's gonna be lit. So all the programming that I do myself, all the programming manipulations that I'm talking about, all the custom programming options. This is what Swolenormous X is all about. The yoga, meditation, all that stuff is all in there. So super sweet. And any questions, you can hit me up DM. Go check out swolenormousx.com. But until tomorrow, 868, I will hopefully smell in the air those sick fucking gains and those calories burning from where I am. I just want to smell someone out there is getting yoked. Someone out there is making some sick fucking gains. And in my area, that person is me. So go get your pump on. If you haven't already, make sure you're following me everywhere. Swolenormous, everywhere. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all over. I will see you tomorrow for 868 on the most muscular Swolecast, Beercast, Broadcast, Gangcast, Mancast, Pimpcast, and Sleazecast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex. We all flex our biceps. See you tomorrow, fam. Peace, McGee's, Deuce, Magoose, Papa, Swole, your boy. Out.